Diane, where's my camera? Oh.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Ernie.
Howdy, everyone. Hey Dick,
Hi.
how you doing?
Hey, Jeff.
Jen, it's the real you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have my anchor woman picture up there right now.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Scotty, that's enough.
Who do we have? I see Dick, Jeff, Judy.
Kelly?
Everybody but Mike.
Is Mike coming? He hasn't been in a while.
You won't see Mike Patel, no.
Is he staying on or is he resigning?
He's resigning.
Okay, and Mark won't be there. He has another meeting.
I think you're gonna see us put somebody up this month for his position.
Well, we need a letter of resignation needs to be submitted.
Yes, we're working on it.
Okay,
It's easier to go to the package store and get something to drink than it is to get the letter from him.
Of course. Maybe if you gave him money for the letter.
Bring
Yeah,
the
it's
letter
not
to the
like we
store.
can't find him. We know where he is. I guess we'll have to write the letter and catch him just to have him sign it one day.
there
I've
you go.
never met him, so.
Yeah.
It's, I've been on a year now.
Yeah, it can be pretty simple, like I quit. Mike Patel.
Well, I guess Jeff, you can go write it for him and have him sign it.
Bev, do you have the rules of conduct in front of you?
Yes, I do. Would you like me to read them?
Could you please? First of all, I call the meeting to order. First order of business, rules of conduct.
Okay, this is a web-based call, so we are operating under the following procedures. This session is being, oh, wait a minute, I gotta is it recording? Hold on, I wanna make sure I'm recording first. It is recording.
It's
All right.
recording.
This session is being both video and audio recorded. Commissioners and staff will generally remain on mute except when speaking or voting and will generally be keeping video of themselves on throughout the meeting. If a member of the public creates an audio or video disruption, they may be manually ejected from the meeting upon recommendation of the staff or the chair. For public input before the meeting, please email your comments to publicinput@columbiact.org within 24 hours before the meeting. For public input during the meeting, your comments can be submitted through the chat feature in the Zoom meeting or wave your hand and request your mic to be unmuted. Please include in both methods your name and address.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is audience. To your knowledge, do we have anything submitted?
Jen, did you get anything from the public input?
Nope, there's nothing in public input.
And there's
Okay,
no chat. No
Minutes.
audience.
September minutes approval.
Surprise, surprise.
Any comments on these September minutes? If not, is there a motion?
I move we accept September minutes.
Second,
Moved in second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, was that unanimous or was there any dissent? Unanimous. I hope I make it through this correspondence. Anything in the correspondence that anybody took issue with or would like to discuss? No,
Oh,
moving right along. Old business, final year-end numbers. I guess we turn the meeting over to Bev for the next half hour. Go ahead, Bev.
If I last that long. Okay, yeah, what I included in the packet was basically, the year-end numbers, that are currently in the process of, hopefully the auditors will be done with the audit soon. But I just want everybody to know that the Board of Selectmen ended, in their operating budget, over $290,000 surplus. The Board of Ed returned 640,000. Wait a minute. No, the town returned the town returned $330,000. The Board of Ed returned over almost $640,000. So in total, well, the operating budget, the fund balance increased by $971,000. And on the revenue side, where'd that piece go? We ended up with a surplus in revenue of over $441,000, which went into the fund balance of $1.4 million this year. I believe these numbers are firm now, and unless the auditors come back and need me to make an adjustment, that's how we ended. And that,
Ernie, are you chairing? The way you-
where are we going on vacation?
no comment.
We could take a collection and send Jeff away. I'll contribute. Okay, Bev.
Yeah, so any questions on numbers?
No, they're pretty similar to what you gave us before, right? Just-
Yep. Yep, there
Oh.
hasn't been any drastic changes, and then, all this, the year end includes giving the non-lapsing account a contribution of $85,000. So that'll be, yeah, so that's pretty much it for the year end numbers. I said that I'm still waiting for the auditors, but I don't anticipate any numbers changing.
Bev, I had a question. The 441 revenue surplus, is that lumped in anything in particular? Is that typical to be that high?
It's various, well, a lot of it is the property tax collections came in quite high. It's pretty much, where's my page? It was like 300,000, but some lines came in short. So in the education cost share grant was over 100,000. We did well in interest, almost 11,000. Things like the special ed grant was short 50,000. So overall, we did a lot better revenue wise than we anticipated. A lot of the lines came in a lot higher than we anticipated. So, but most of it's just the property tax collection was we just did well again.
That's great considering
Yeah.
circumstances. It's
I
fabulous.
think we
That
were
was
like
last year.
98, over 98%. And I think this year so far, the collections came in pretty much on par. So I think the concern is what's going to happen in January.
Okay.
Very
Well, I was just curious if there was something in particular, like a spike of one particular thing, but this is just, all typical revenues, right?
Well, the education cost share was a little surprised. We didn't anticipate an extra $100,000 because we were with the state budget, we put in the number they told us, and then after the budget was passed, they actually gave us more money than we anticipated. So that was a surprise. And the interest rates, before they tanked and with COVID, we're on track to do probably get, let's see, before the COVID, it was probably over $80,000. And then after that, we tanked down to almost 0%, which I've been told we may not see that interest interest is gonna be like 0 or way down for the next year or two, so I expect that we're gonna be short on interest this year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Excuse
Fund
me.
balance.
Fund balance. So, excuse me. Hold on, I'm choking.
We got the same problem.
Okay, I'm back. So I gave you all like a reconciliation in your packet of the fund balance. So basically the unassigned undesignated fund balance ended up being $4.1 million, which is definitely a lot higher than we anticipated with the budget process. So right now we're at the end of June, we were at a 23% fund balance requirement. So we're doing quite well. We basically increased, which with all the budget surpluses. So the town's doing very well overall.
Questions?
You know, I mean, just a comment. I find that a little surprising because I figured with COVID, it would increase education costs, but it turns out it's probably done the exact opposite. So, I mean, we can factor this in next year when we do the budget, but
Last year, Jay.
interesting.
We're
Well,
talking about last year, remember?
yeah, this is all for last year, and you have to remember with some of the COVID purchases, they're doing more this year, but we had to take some of the stuff out of the budget because it was being reimbursed by FEMA and OPM. So
Okay.
so it's not a lot of money, but that's coming up in one of the other lines. But yeah, so we've gotten some reimbursement. I mean, it's not a lot, but basically with the school, without spending, they did pay all the salaries, but they weren't buying supplies. And the town cut back on certain items too, but the revenue just kept coming in. So
Didn't they get a credit of some kind back from transportation too?
yeah, so they got about $100,000 back from transportation. Some of the tuition came in a little lower because some less services and all that. So that helped in the line. Trying to think of what else there was that was, it turned out like even they also got a surplus in their health plan because some people didn't take it last year that they thought. And so but most of it was just less spending.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Audit?
Audit. Okay, so I've had 3 out of the 4 audits. The workers' comp, I believe, is completed today. We usually don't get a report on that unless they feel additional premium is going to be due for last year. So I won't have those results, but from my understanding, they were satisfied with all the information and they got what they needed to complete that payroll audit. The town audit was at the end of October. Right now, they don't anticipate any comments or any things that we have to respond or any negatives against the town, I guess you can call it. But they were pleased with everything again, as usual. They also did the library this year. I don't think there's any issues with them either. So hopefully we're set to go file that report by the end of December. There is still pending the Board of Ed's educate their big financial report, the EDO 01, which is now the EFS report. They haven't done it yet, but they did send a letter, which copy should be in your packet. Although they did refer to the town audit, I think they didn't have to do additional steps, but with the Board of Ed audit, the state has made some new requirements on the audit, which means they have to look a little closer at certain things, which could include some payroll and closer looks at a lot more invoices and all that. So they said there's a possibility they may have to increase their fee for the audit for last year. So I've spoken to them a couple times and they're thinking this letter was just a heads up, but they may or may not charge us more because as long as I provide everything, we should be good. And we're also fortunate to be a one school town where they have to do more work is actually minimal. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that, but I haven't heard back from them on a date they're coming, but it should be within the next couple weeks. So so they just wanted everybody to know that there's a potential they could send a bill, but right now they've been paid in full.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Side note, Bev,
yes.
library and fire department audited financials. Could you just make a note to get copies of those for FIPAC? We should look at those every now and then, just so everybody knows what's going on.
Okay, yep, we can get the, yeah, I think, yeah, just so you know, our auditors do like a procedural audit. It's not like a financial audit. But I can see if Sue can provide, if they do a financial audit too, but I'll make sure we get copies of both for you.
Okay, no rush.
Okay, yeah, they're probably still in the process of writing them. Okay,
Thanks. COVID.
COVID. Okay, so as of today, I'm still waiting for FEMA to send the funds because they for from March to June, they said submit a claim. So we did. So we originally submitted for over $100,000 worth of COVID expenses. Mostly it was the school for, so after we did all this stuff and FEMA said submit it all, we were told, no, they're not going to pay for things like plexiglass and a bunch of other stuff. So they actually cut the claim down to about $25,000. So they have approved to give us about $19,500, and that's for the fire department, the town, and the Board of Ed. And then OPM has agreed to pay the other 25% plus some other items like the plexiglass and other items. So as of this point, FEMA is giving $19,500. OPM is going to give is reimbursing the town, which they did approve it, over $36,000. And then the school also got $22,991 for technology items that related to COVID. And then in the process now of getting another $85,000 from the State Department of Ed for all their COVID related costs and some staffing stuff. So that's going to be submitted by the end of this week. So right now, between all these reimbursements, the town will be getting right now $165,000. So there could be more coming because they have to put another claim in. They're doing it by quarters. So September to July, right? July through September, I have to submit to FEMA. We haven't heard back from OPM yet what they're willing to give us as a budget number. And then we don't know after December if any of these entities are going to still be reimbursing for COVID related expenses. So so it's a process that everybody's trying to figure out where's money still coming. So I just keep plugging along and just try to get the money whenever there's an opportunity. Which brings me to the other item on the agenda, which is the EMPG grant. So for emergency management, we have that one that pays for Jerry James' salary. The emergency management decided to give all towns an opportunity to have a supplemental emergency management grant. We don't know how much it is yet for this year, but they will reimburse us for help us to get PPE and other COVID testing for if we have to open up an emergency operations center, and they will reimburse the town 100%. So they're still waiting to see what towns are participating and then telling us how much we're going to get. But for next year, they're gonna give each town $5,000 to basically update their emergency operation plan, and which will include how to deal with that pandemic and all that. So the town's supposed to get that next year. So that's, you have any questions on that? That's pretty much the COVID update.
And by next year, you mean the fiscal year that
Yes.
starts July 1, 2021?
I have to check on the dates on this grant because they tend to run from October 1 to September 30th.
Right,
So,
because it's federal.
so we'll, on this one grant, so, so next year could be, it'll be next fiscal year, just what months they're gonna have, it depends, but, so we're just in the process of waiting for the award to come, and then we're gonna make sure we get some supplies for that emergency operations center, just so we have prepared in case things get worse here in Columbia. Okay,
Anything else?
well, I can move on to the budget revisions that are coming.
Okay, okay.
So with this year hiring a social worker, there's going to be not a town meeting, but the executive order kind of meeting coming up. Since all the money for the social worker was put in the professional tech line. So we've hired somebody, so the money needs to be moved to transferred out to her salary line, and also other various lines like professional tech and professional dues, training, supplies, all that stuff. So I'm in the process of getting that all written up. And then since it's over 20,000, we have to have like a town meeting for it. And the other budget revision is going to be between facilities and public works. Since they revamped a little bit of positions, the town now has a building official / facility manager. So, and he's going to have a facility maintainer, and he has the cleaning person under him too. So all those funds to help pay for that, it needs to be moved from public works into a new department, along with whatever was budgeted in public works for any facility items like contracted services, professional tech, supplies, repairs and maintenance, all has to move. I don't have a figure for that yet. Plus making sure that I have the proper amounts. We don't have to go back for more. So that's probably going to come next month once I get all the numbers pulled together.
Off the top of your head, do you think this is gonna cost us any more, or is it just moving numbers?
I have to look because with now a new public works director, we want to make sure that she's not going to be shorted because some of the lines were kind of merged. So it kind of between facilities and grounds. So if anything, I would probably take some money out of contingency to make sure that at least there's enough in each department. So I don't think it's gonna go beyond that, where we'd have to do a general fund transfer.
Anybody? Okay, next.
Capital project status, since Mark couldn't be there, but be here, I thought he was gonna talk about it, but I just know that the rec park has been moving along. The guardrails are in, the parking lot is, I think, pretty much done. Everything seems to be still within the budget, so there's no overrun. I know Maria is looking to get the engineer out to start looking at the track, get a study on that so she can start figuring out what they need for the budget on that. And they did buy all the vehicles that were, let's see, they bought, Board of Ed did get their truck that they wanted last year. The Public Works Director has a new SUV. The big, I think it's a Freightliner there. It's, I think, in process. So that truck should be ready to be here soon. I think they're working on the bid for the fire department rescue truck. So I haven't heard a status on where they're at that, but I believe that's already, they got that in process. And also we did get, if you haven't read the papers, the town received $128,000 steep grant for the Hunt Road Culvert project. So now we're just in the process of getting the paperwork done and find out how to get the funds and what's the next step we need to do. But I think they're starting to work on, engineers have been working on it. So,
Questions?
nope.
Tri-board,
Okay, so the tri-board is usually at the 5-pack meeting in December. I think, Arnie, we had talked about it this morning. We're probably gonna do the same format. I'll just come in with the reports from last year and this year, and we see if there's any questions on the budget or if there's anything new that needs to be discussed or pending. And I think it'll be, well, I assume it'll be a Zoom meeting. And then we'll just do a 5-pack right after.
okay?
Okay. And then also we provided a copy of the town budget schedule for your reference to kind of see how things are starting to get in motion. I think the Board of Ed has already started sending out to the staff their submissions to get budget stuff. They're always a little earlier. The towns will go out in a couple weeks. But I think we pretty much mapped out the whole calendar this year. And put tentative in case we didn't need certain budget workshops. So if we don't need them, we just cancel them. So I think that was it. I think we're looking at May 11th for the town meeting. Well, we'll see how that goes too. Okay. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, Ernie, now it's yours. Schedule.
Thanks, Bev.
You're welcome.
You still there, Bev?
Yeah. Well, now you got the budget meetings. Is that, I mean, your 5-pack meeting schedule is, that's yours.
Why is that mine? Okay, we have to approve it. I assume you checked for holidays. It's all the third Wednesday of each month.
Yes,
Yada, yada,
Jen,
yada.
Jen and I double checked it.
Okay, in that case, can we have a motion to approve the calendar for next year?
I move that we approve the budget, the schedule as presented for 5-pack meetings for next year.
Is there a second?
Second,
I will second.
Okay.
Move in second that we approve the schedule. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Did anybody object or abstain? Unanimous then. Transfers. We have what, 2, Bev?
Yep, there are 2 of them. So the first, I have this right. So the first one is from contingency of $1,060. So Mark had purchased an outdoor table and umbrella to put behind the town hall. It wasn't budgeted. We didn't feel there was a spot in the budget where we can transfer from. It was kind of like purchased kind of as to be used as an outdoor meeting place for everyone. And it's not allowable for COVID purposes. I asked numerous entities if they would cover it. So we just decided to take the funds from contingency. And the other one is, again, because it changes at town hall, is a transfer of $1,419 from where $839 is coming from the trooper's telephone line. Because he moved out of the Murphy House to the annex building. We're taking what's left of that phone line and moved it to the rec department because they are down there now. And then the other portion is coming from the rec department tech, just to cover the cell phone and internet connection down at the Murphy House for the rest of the year. That's it.
Any comments? Or motion?
I move that we approve the transfers as submitted.
second,
I just want to see if you're awake, Jeff. Yep, a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any noes or abstentions? Unanimous. Next meeting is December 16th, following the tri-board meeting. And anything on anybody's mind they'd like to throw out or talk about in future sessions or anything, any comments before we go?
I do have one quick question for you. If you don't have to answer now, it can be later. The insurance broker wanted to know if by chance you wanted to have him come to a meeting to do a presentation about CT chip and the premiums and the history and all that, or do you want to wait until the renewal rates come out? He's more than willing to come out or get on Zoom and do a presentation if you request it. So something to think about if you want it down the road.
What do you think?
Bev, how much money are we talking about for the insurance? So, I mean, what's the financial impact does it have on Columbia?
Well, it depends if our insurance rates go up for the health plan. So last year went up between 18-19%. We're not sure yet what it is because they're just starting the renewal process. So it's up to you if you
When-
want to hear from him about why.
So
When do
what's
they
the-
usually,
money that we're talking about?
Oh, well, we're talking about the premiums alone for the Board of Ed's like $1 million. And for the town, it's probably half of that.
So it might be a good idea because of that amount that we hear something from the insurance
Yeah.
guy.
I mean, you can wait until the renewal if you want to, because we don't know
Yeah.
what the rates are yet. So,
Yeah, I would
mean,
like, I would like to see what the rates are because 18 to 20%, that was our first year into this new pool,
Yes.
correct?
yes,
So, and the idea with that new pool was that it would actually lower our costs.
well, yeah, we're hoping that it comes in a lot lower this year. So we may not know until January, February, the initial round. So if you want to wait until those rates come in and then, he's more than willing to come then, if you have questions.
That sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah. I think we
Okay.
sounds great. Anything else?
Nope.
nope.
You're alive, Kelly.
When
In that
are
case, I
we?
move to-
I am. I just am wondering, I know that we're probably not anytime soon going to be talking about going back to live meetings, but are we thinking maybe in sometime in January, February, or still thinking it's going to be longer than that? Because I do know that we can be socially distant in the Yeoman's Hall.
I mean, my opinion on that is simply we have to wait for guidance from the scientist about when it makes sense for us to come back. I would love to come back and have meetings in person because I think it works a lot better. But we also don't want to put ourselves at risk by doing that. So let's wait until we have clearance from the state and the State Department of Health and so on, and then we can make that decision. I'm thinking it's probably not going to be until May or June at the earliest, but we'll see what happens.
Also, we don't ever know how many people are going to come to observe the meeting, so
Exactly.
we don't know how much social distance there would be.
Well, we would
And
continue the
that's
Zoom
what-
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
how
like
do you
this.
handle the public access if you go live? Well, we
Right.
can think about it. Anything else? Then I move to adjourn and I vote to adjourn and we're adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you,
Thanks.
buddy, and
Bye.
everybody be safe.
Thanks, guys. Have a happy holiday.
You
Happy
too.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And me.